He'd been at the pinnacle before as the most valuable player of the 1973 World Series in Oakland's defeat of the Mets. But could he ever top his final game performance in the 1977 World Series? It isn't likely. For by 10:25 p.m. on October 18, 1977, Reginald Martinez Jackson had set 5 World Series records and tied 3 others. The first series between the Yankees and the Dodgers since 1963 began for the outgoing Tom Lasorda and fiery Billy Martin in refurbished Yankee Stadium. It would be the first series for the exuberant Lasorda, but for Martin, after a season of trials, then triumphs, a series win could mean final vindication for both the Yankees and their beleaguered manager. Commissioner Kuhn joins the capacity crowd in applause as the first ball is thrown out by Whitey Ford, a Yankee legend in his own right. The opening game had 2 winning World Series veterans facing each other. The Dodgers' Don Sutton against the Yankees' Don Gullett. Los Angeles jumped on the ex-Cincinnati left-hander for 2 quick first-inning runs. It was a game of might-have-beens and tantalizing if-onlys. For instance, if only Steve Garvey and Reggie Smith had not misfired on a hit-and-run play with no outs, the Dodgers might have run up a formidable lead in the very first inning. Or if only Steve Garvey had not hesitated between first and second on Glenn Burke's hit in the 6th, he might not have been out on a controversial play at home, and the Dodgers could have won Game 1 in regulation time. Some speculated that umpire Nestor Shylock was too far up the first base line to make the definitive call. In any event, it was close, very close. Conversely, with Manny Mota pinch hitting for Glenn Burke in the 9th, the Dodgers get caught once again on an unsuccessful hit-and-run play. Now, if only Yankee first baseman Chris Chambliss had not just barely missed a caught-off first Dusty Baker, the Dodgers might never have deadlocked the game 3-all and sent it into extra innings. Then if only Lee Lacy, pinch hitting in the 9th against the otherwise first-rate Sparky Lyle, had not smashed the ace reliever's first pitch to send Baker home with the tying run, the Yankees would have won it in regulation time, instead of going into extra innings all tied at 3 each. Now, if only the Yankees had been able to sacrifice runners into scoring position in either the 10th or 11th inning, the game might never have reached the 12th. But Jerry Grody gunned down both potential go-ahead runners impressively. Then came the final irony of all. Paul Blair came up with 2 on and no outs in the bottom of the 12th. If only Blair, normally an adept bunter, had not failed twice to advance the runners, he never would have had the chance to be the man of the hour. The hero, whose sharp single past the shortstop would drive in Randolph to win the first game for the Yankees 4-3. If Paul Blair was the final hero in this bizarre first game, other warriors are foremost in the fans' thoughts as the Yankees and Dodgers prepare for Game 2. Both teams will start pitchers who rely on pinpoint control. One of them has suffered through a year of frustration and chronic injury. The fact is that Jim Catfish Hunter has not pitched in more than a month. Ron Cey drives in 2 with a moonshot in the first. Then in the second, again with 2 out, Steve Yeager digs in. Another high slider disappears to the great beyond in the left field seat. Guess who's just crazy about it? Mrs. Steve Yeager. With 1 on, 1 out in the third, the 31-year-old North Carolina farmer knows he must keep the ball down to this man. As one of 4 Dodgers with 30 or more home runs, Reggie Smith can zing you. Low and outside, just where Catfish wanted it. So when Smith turns his best pitch into a 400-foot home run, it's time to acknowledge that the former Cy Young winner has had it for the night. But a rusty, subpar performance cannot diminish the class of a great competitor, and these fans show they recognize class when they see it. Where Catfish Hunter failed, Bert Hooton succeeded by serving up a recipe that had the Yankee hitters lunging at his assortment of fastballs mixed with bewildering knuckle curves. He struck out 8 for a 6-1 Dodger win. Umpire Ed Sudol found Hooton's menu gave some Yankees acute indigestion. Randolph pleads with Sudol to confirm with the first base umpire that Willie had, in fact, struck out.
We're right in there. Listen here. He went far enough for me.
Don't you be intimidating me.
I'm not intimidating you.
Don't you be intimidating me.
I'm not intimidating you, but I'm going to tell you something. As far as I'm concerned, he went enough.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Okay.
But sometimes get some help on it, too, all right?
All right, buddy.
That's the rule.
All right.
Speaking of intimidation, no one who saw the first 2 games of this series could ever say that baseball is a non-contact sport. For instance, Steve Yeager's rainbow homer in the third produced this valiant effort by Lou Piniella before he falls in a heap after his confrontation with an unyielding left field wall.
Oh, yes.
And this goes with Ed Sudol's profession.
Oh, baby.
Get me?
Right.
Where we at?
Get it under there.
Okay. I'm gonna come at you.
That's about 1,000 times this year.
Is that right?
Yeah. They take bets, Coca-Colas, and 7-Up that I'll get hit 3 or 4 times a game.
And don't take bets that this won't happen to Steve Yeager more often than he cares to remember.
What, it gets you, Yank? Okay, keep your head up, Yank.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, it hurt for a little while.
Gritty guys like Steve Yeager may never grin about it. The wild horses couldn't get him out of there.
Sure? You sure?
No, let's go.
We're down to full squad now.
It won't come out now.
With the series deadlocked, the scene shifts to an L.A. temple. In L.A., the series is a happening for just plain folks and some others that everyone knows. Reggie Jackson said that Mickey Rivers makes us go. He hadn't up to now, and in Tommy John, the Dodgers had one of the great comeback players in sports. It didn't seem to worry Rivers, then very little does. Mick the Quick whips a curtain-raising double to right before the record Dodger crowd is even fully settled in. Jackson comes up with 1 out and a man in scoring position. thanks to an opposite field double by Thurman Munson that had already driven Rivers home with the game's first run. Reggie slices a hit, scoring Munson. And when Baker overruns the ball for the first error of the series, Jackson makes it easily to second. Here on enemy turf, a group of Yankee wives hope it's only the beginning. Sweet Lou Piniella obliges, and the Yankees lead 3-0 before the Dodgers can get to bat. The Yankees' Mike Torres squirms out of the first 2 innings. But in the third, Reggie Smith's on first with the dangerous Steve Garvey at the plate. Decapitation. Almost, anyway, as Garvey lines a blistering single to center to put runners on both first and third with 2 out. And Torres squirms some more as he coaxes the count to 3-2 on another potential Dodger howitzer, Dusty Baker. It's all tied 3 up. And the love-in that is the 1977 Dodgers takes full flight. Now with the game tied, Tommy John, the Dodgers stopper all season, has his chance. A good pitch becomes a scratch single. A high bouncer puts a man on third. Another good pitch is bounced to second for a run. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. The count goes to 1-1 on Chambliss. Chris nudges it through the hole. Jackson scores. And without a really well-hit ball in 2 innings, the Yankees score twice, and it's 5-3. 9th inning, reliever Charlie Huff pitches to Paul Blair. Watch Ron Say. Agonizing for Paul Blair. Accolades for Ron Say. A now confident Mike Torres has 10 outs in a row and 8 strikeouts as he faces Davey Lopes with 2 out in the last of the ninth. Lopes becomes the 9th strikeout victim, and Mike Torres, so instrumental in the Yankees' late season drive, wins another key game, 5-3, and the Yankees go ahead in the series 2-1. Typical Los Angeles Bluebird weather as the contenders prepare for Game 4. The president's mother, Lillian Carter, an enthusiastic baseball fan with a soft spot for the Dodgers, throws out the first ball and basks in that California warmth. Chris Chambliss on second. Lou Piniella on third. Rick Rhoden replaces Doug Rao with no outs in the second and 1 run in. With the infield deep, Nettles grounds to second, and Piniella scrambles home. The Yanks are up to their old tricks. With the infield in, Dent taps one through, and the 3rd run scores. With 2 out in the bottom of the 3rd, the Yankees' Ron Guidry has set down 8 straight. You might expect pitcher Rick Rhoden would be the 9th. Surprise! A well-hit ball past Piniella becomes a ground rule double, and Dodger fans get an unexpected lift as Rhoden ambles into second. Dodger second baseman Davey Lopes is 0 for 12 at this point. Now now he's 1 for 13. Hopes become deeds, and the Dodgers take heart when their powerful little captain pulls them within a run with 6 innings yet to go. Bottom of the 4th, and the Yankee left-hander faces the Penguin, the power-hitting Ron Cey. Cey clouts one deep to left field, but the Yankees' Piniella plucks the ball right out of home run territory to save Guidry's 3-2 lead. It's only when you see this gem slowed down that it fully sparkles, where Piniella makes the fantastic look easy when he nonchalants it. Like Torres the day before, Ron Guidry gets tougher as the game goes on. He gives up but 4 hits, strikes out 7 before it's over. And Game 4 is a harbinger of things to come. For with only 2 singles in Games 1, 2, and 3, Reggie Jackson begins to strut his stuff. With 2 runs scored, a double, and this, his first series home run in the 6th that closes out the scoring for both teams. Furthermore, for the first time, Jackson becomes an important factor in a Yankee win. A victory that puts New York ahead 3 games to 1, and for hometown fans, close to ending it all right here in Dodger Stadium. Incidentally, one of baseball's charms is in its telltale personality traits. For instance, Thurman Munson never bats before going through this ritual with his hitting glove. Then there's the Steve Garvey one-step. The Tidrow hat pull. The Mickey Rivers bat trick. The Nettles glove trick. The Lope set. And of course, all kinds of huffs and puffs. There's the Lasorda again. No 2 teams, no 2 players are ever quite the same in baseball's passing parade. Game 5 offers the Yankees the unexpected chance to close out the series in Dodger country. But not if Don Sutton, who has never pitched badly in World Series competition, can prevent it. He'll lock horns once again with the Yankees' Don Gullett. Steve Garvey on second in the 4th with a double, and the Dodgers leading 1-0. Dusty Baker slams the ball to left, and Garvey scores while Piniella's error, the first for the Yankees in the series, allows Baker to hustle in the 2nd. Gullett induces Lee Lacy to hit the ball to Nettles, who boots it after making several stunning plays earlier, and everybody's safe. When Steve Yeager tidily parks a high Gullett forkball into the left field corner, the rout is on. This is the kind of command these fans have come to expect of their Dodgers. And oh, how they did savor it, both in the stands and on the field. And when Reggie Smith bruised Dick Tidrow in the 6th with a 2-run blast, he put the final icing on what has become a daytime nightmare for the Yankees. But more never seemed to be enough for these Dodger Blue loyalists. Not even 10-0. Don Sutton surrenders 2 Yankee runs in the 7th, plus a 2-out homer to Munson in the 8th. Determined to walk no one, Sutton serves up another fat pitch to Jackson, who jumps all over it for a vicious clout high off the foul pole screen and right. But hidden within the recesses of the Yankee debacle is another 2-for-4 performance by Reggie Jackson. What is even more significant, Jackson is now getting around in the ball after being late on pitches throughout the series. But who could ever imagine what all this portended? Sutton settles down in the ninth to retire the last 3 men in order for a 10-4 complete game victory. Now, for all the Dodgers and the manager, who insists he bleeds Dodger blue, redemption was over 3,000 miles away, where the elegant Joe DiMaggio still enchants crowds and commands the respect of players as well as generations of baseball fans. A hero of Game 3, Mike Torres paws his turf as he contemplates his first inning problem. Ron Cey on first, Reggie Smith at second, with the always tough Steve Garvey measuring his chances with 2 out. Steve goes with the pitch. Both runners score, and Garvey beats the relay into third easily to the delight of these Dodger wides. Just as they did in games 1 and 2, the Dodgers jump ahead 2-0. Bert Hooton, who had collared Reggie Jackson impressively in Game 2, walked him on 4 straight pitches to open the Yankees' second. It didn't seem all that significant right then, since Chambliss had not solved Hooton either. But this time he did. Not only check, but checkmate. And so the Yankee long ball hitting that had stirred itself in the burnt ashes of Game 5 awakes early to tie Game 6 at 2-all. The contrast in moods tells the story. With only 3 days rest and having thrown over 130 pitches in winning Game 3, could Torres hang on? Reggie Smith seemingly gave the answer with a monster shot deep into the center field bleachers. It's Smith's 3rd series homer and the 9th for the Dodgers against Yankee pitching. Yankee catcher Thurman Munson leads off the bottom of the 3rd. Munson smacks the pitch sharply for a long single to keep his streak alive with a hit in 10 straight series games. As Hooton tries to calm himself with a critical task ahead, some 56,000 fans here and over 65 million television viewers know that Hooton can't afford to walk Reggie Jackson again. One swing, and Jackson hits it on the line into the right field stand. The Yankees seesaw back into a 4-3 lead. The fact that he'd homered in his last 2 swings in the 8th inning of Game 5 and here in Game 6 was at this point little more than a curiosity. Tom Lasorda was ready for a change, but he wanted to give his bullpen more time.
Get you out of here, Happy.
Huh?
We'll get you out of here.
Hello, Tom.
Hi, John. How are you? What would you do in this situation if you were managing this ball club, John?
You took this club in first, man.
I got a big decision to make, and I just don't know what to do. I thought maybe possibly could help me.
Give you a little time.
John, I got a decision to make, and I just don't know. I thought maybe whatever you think would be best, John, I'll go along with it because I know you're very knowledgeable. No.
It might not have been enough time, but the Yankees pick up another run, and it's 5-3 in the 5th. Randolph on first, Elias Sosa pitching. With 2 swings, Jackson has 2 home runs. Now the crowd's mood shifts, and so does this man's, as he ponders what elixir he needs to get Reggie Jackson out. One of the game's most enigmatic free spirits stands on the threshold of baseball immortality. Tenacious Mike Torres, just as he had in Game 3, responds to good fortune and retires 10 in a row through the 7th inning. But in the 8th, all thoughts are with this bundle of contradictions. Both the man and his potential for the incredible has everyone in its grip. What could Tom Lasorda be thinking? And what could be in reliever Charlie Huff's head? They all await the final chapter for this self-proclaimed Mr. October. Reggie Jackson stamps his name forever into the pages of World Series history. The bottom line, most homers, 5. First man to hit 3 homers in a row in one series game. Most runs, 10. Most total bases, 25. Magic time. The greatest single performance I've ever seen, said Tom Lasorda. These Yankee fans just won't quit. They demand a curtain call. There's no quit in the Dodgers, though. They scratched for a run in the 9th off a now tired Mike Torres. But when Torres squeezes Lee Lacy's pop-up, it's all over. The Yankees win it 4-2. But let's not forget those who contributed so much to this series. Mike Torres had 2 clutch complete game wins. Steve Garvey played flawlessly at first base and batted .375 with 3 extra base hits. Thurman Munson hit .320, and his throwing kept the Dodgers speed merchants at bay. Don Sutton pitched a World Series win and has yet to lose in postseason play. Steve Yeager's aching knees didn't keep him from a splendid series. There was a solid craftsmanship of Lou Piniella. Ron Guidry's strong 4-hitter in Los Angeles. Reggie Smith's 3 homers and 5 RBIs. But when they talk of the '77 series, one man's performance will stand out. An achievement linking him with a great from the distant past. Reggie Jackson's lope blurs with Babe Ruth's spindle trot. His 3 homers in one game enhanced baseball's World Series tapestry just as the legendary Bambinos had over 50 years ago. Reggie Jackson said, "I was lucky. Babe Ruth was great." But no one can deny that with his achievement in the 1977 World Series, Reginald Martinez Jackson entered the Pantheon forever.